does seem as though the higher vibration presences are reluctant to provide advice because they know so much of their advice has been poor, and they don't want to hurt with bad advice.
That's true.
Which I can understand.
I can understand that feeling.
Okay, that's valid. Thank you.
True.
Thank you. Okay, does it look like there's a nice clear path down to the Ground Zero host life? Let's zoom a little bit to clear and straighten first.
Yeah.
Just zoom the energy body to clear and straighten, balance, homogenize. There we go. And now does it look easy to just slide right on down that nice clear container?
Yeah.
Go ahead and step in, slide down, right back into Ground Zero. You can see where you can slip your hands into the hands that looks like a human suit.
Yeah.
And into the feet, looks like a human suit.
Yeah.
You can see where to clip up the back, or it's kind of up the side of the back. Yes. Just clip, clip, clip all the way up and down. Yes.
Yeah.
You feel fully back in the suit.
Yeah.
See if you can move hands. See if you can move feet. See if you can move head. Is there anything else you'd like to address before we declare it complete?
Well, some aspect of self, it could be at a smaller level than Ground Zero, feels almost panicked.
Why?
That aspect of self feels like, well, I don't have an answer for how to hear
No, we don't.
the highest voices, and I can feel him very upset. I want so much to hear.
Well, the answer is... Oh, that's fascinating.
That's fascinating.
Somebody says the answer is, and then we're listening. Yes, you have our full attention. How can we tell? They're saying many different things. There are many presences speaking, and what somebody is saying is, you'll notice that there are always multiple voices speaking with the answers to easier questions.
Yeah, that's true.
And in those moments when there are multiple voices speaking, to stretch longer, to listen to the highest voices, to stretch longer and listen to a higher pitch. And they're talking about dog whistles, those higher pitch, those higher frequencies, to listen to that which is difficult to hear. A dog whistle is difficult to hear. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And also the higher frequencies of light are difficult to see.
Yes.
Ultraviolet light, we can't even see it. Yes?
Yes.
But to intend to hear the highest pitch, to move up the scale. And so when some advice comes, say, and what's a higher vibration? Ask up out the top of our heads. Does anybody with higher vibration have another answer? And then with the more difficult questions, unfortunately, right now, we don't know what to say.
This presence feels like, well, it takes so long to try and hear what the higher vibrations say that usually the decision point window
Requires action first.
That's true.
What about that? That is definitely true.
That's actually true. I hear you.
They're talking about error corrections being really important, and that often we live life with the benefit of hindsight.
That is true.
And that sometimes we have to simply take a chance, assume we'll make a lot of mistakes because we're error-making machines, as are all sentiences, and to not consider an error to be without benefit, but to intend to learn fully and in proportion to the pain that the error creates for ourselves and for the greater good.
That's true.
To not get hung up on mistakes, that nobody cares that we make mistakes. Just assume we're going to make mistakes in every single stage of life, and assume that every single decision we make might very well be wrong, but to be determined to not waste the suffering. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then to learn. And in such a way we can start to feel our way along the higher and higher voices until we find something that's helpful, at least for a moment. Does that help that little panicked voice?
I think so.
This is an inconvenient answer, and we know it's inconvenient, and nobody likes it. None of us who live to see such times like the truth of what the situation actually is. This is an unfortunate time of things breaking down, and that's the reality of it.
That's true.
But there's no way to start afresh without the time of things breaking down.
That's true.
Is it okay with you that there be a time of things breaking down so that we may have a fresh start?
Yes.
Okay. Can we choose a good attitude anyway, each of us in every moment, even during this time of things breaking down?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yeah. I'm sorry, there's just one more thing.
Yes.
The little voice is saying, I need some kind of working theory. When it's so hard to hear the high-up voices. I need some kind of game theory of what is the right thing to do. Does that make sense? Am I saying that right?
Yes, you are saying it very well. Become aware of who around you at your level, or the presences that you have awareness of. It doesn't have to be at your level. It could be at other levels, a larger level or a smaller level. Who is typically what you would call the best person, the biggest do-gooder, the least selfish person, the most courageous person, the biggest hero of whom you have awareness? Is there some person like that you can say, that person there, that's my hero?
Yeah, he's got a pretty good idea of who that person would be.
Yes. So now consider that the souls who are coming in from above, the better souls tended to take the better host lives, right?
Yeah.
So assume that hero is going to be channeling the best quality advice available in the moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Listen to the hero. Find a hero, a true hero. A true hero is somebody who's working for the greater good, working to help those smaller than himself or herself. Does that make sense?
What about when he's not around?
I know.
Sometimes he's not there and I don't know what to do.
Yes. Well, then who's the next person who you would call a hero?
This guy feels like he really only knows
that one
guy.
Well, what can work in those situations is to ask, what would that person say or do in this situation?
That's very helpful.
Yes. What would that person say or do in this situation?
Okay, that is very helpful.
Yes. What would our Ra have done? What would our Pan do? Those are helpful questions. What would they do, those two souls? Very helpful question. Yes?
Yeah.
Are those good examples?
Well, that little guy doesn't feel like he cares very much about those souls, but others do.
Well, we're not telling that little guy who he should care about.
Yeah, exactly. I think he gets that.
Yes. To consider, what would your hero do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Feeling much better now, like there's a working theory I can go off of.
There you go. Good for you for continuing to answer your question until you felt it was answered. Good for you.
Now it feels like he's moving back down into smaller levels.
Goodbye, little guy. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, hands into the ground zero host life. Hands. Yes?
Yeah.
Feet into the ground zero host life. Feet. Yes?
Yes.
Line up the backbone with the ground zero host life backbone. Yes?
Yes.
And the skull with the ground zero host life skull.
Yeah.
Yes, you feel complete. Wrapping again.
Oh.
Yes?
That little guy is poking his head like out of a porthole. He's saying, wait, one more thing before you go away.
We're here.
Sometimes I ask, what would my hero do? And then I start to do that thing, and then I realize I'm trying to do his job for him.
Oh.
And he gets so upset about that.
You're not supposed to be doing his job. How about this, friend? Ask, what would he do if he had my soul plan?
Oh.
Does that help?
A lot better.
Try it and let us know right now. If you'd like, would you like for us to wait?
Yes, please.
Okay.
That works a lot better.
Do you feel complete, my friend?
Yes.
All right. How shall we know that you have a question? How would you like to make your questions known to us in the future? What signal? So that we are aware that you have a question.
I don't hear him.
I don't hear him either. And this is how it is on the other end of the equation.
That's true.
We see that it's true on both ends of the communication link. Yes?
Yes.
That's beautiful. Okay. Thanks, little guy. May the force be with you. And now we start to wrap the closing process. Yes?
Yes.